Warning, personal opinions, satirical comedy, and spoilers.
Those girls don't stand a chance against my behind-the-back ass attack. All the way with Callaway!
Be sure to join ToonGrin socials. Hello everybody, I'm WHYBOY and this is NERO.
Yep, here we are. The most inoffensively unoffensive of the Scooby-Doo films from the 1980s.
Yet the second out of the series of the Superstars 10 series, Scooby-Doo and the Ghoul School, which actually went by other names, the Ghoul School, Monster School, but Ghoul School's the funniest one.
Sure!
The basic story is, Shaggy, Scooby, and Scrappy are heading off to Ghoul School because they're the new gym teachers for the ghouls there. But they don't know that because shenanigans.
I love that Shaggy's like, oh boy, I got this side gig as a gym teacher.
They make it to Ghoul School, they meet Mrs. Grimwood and then all the girls. Isabella, Dracula's daughter, Elsa Frankenstein's daughter, Winnie, the Wolfman's daughter, Phantasma, daughter of the Phantom, and Tannis, the Mummy's daughter, and the little baby one.
Everyone else, iconic monster. Dracula, Frankenstein's monster, the Wolfman, the Mummy, Phantom. Why couldn't it just be like the Invisible Man's daughter?
That would have made animation a lot easier for them. But Shaggy and the gang are there to help these girls be able to beat those dang Callaway kids from across the way at their volleyball match.
This was the era of random ideas. Between Shaggy goes to his racist Confederate uncle's house, and then all of a sudden he runs into a crappy version of the Three Stooges. And then what if Shaggy was a gym teacher and he was like, I'm gonna be the gym teacher for iconic movie monsters and the Phantom. And then they'll go against a boarding school for young boys, which is only made up of I think 5 or 6 kids.
In very short shorts, which is very unnerving.
I think my favorite part is where they have the crop tops. It's just, you see that and it's just why? Was that a thing in the 80s where young men wearing hot pants and crop tops?
It's like their slogan for their school. It's all the way with Callaway. You go all the way to prison. And you know what? Just taking in that whole story right there, it's a pretty fun little adventure and all that. Shaggy and Scooby helping the girls, being able to as they beat the boys at the volleyballs and all that. And it's just a cute, nice time. Maybe too punny and such at times.
Fantastic to meet you. Fantastic having you here, guys. Oh, how am I doing, Vanilla? Oh, fantastic, fantastic.
Can you shut the up?
But it's just a cute, fun time.
What if we invaded that plot with another plot?
Well, no, you would ruin it then.
Well, hold on a second there, buckaroo. Because once they had Revolta, the Witch of the Web, this character, I don't understand this character, where her motivation's just monsters used to mean something, and they've all gone soft, which I guess means they all became family people, because they all became dads.
Why can't they be lonely like me, Revolta?
I would argue the first portion, well, not, it's nothing spectacular. It'd be solid for a 22-minute pitch. And then once you hit that 50-plus minute mark, and it's okay, they did the things with the girls, they helped them overcome the Callaway cadets, they won the volleyball game.
They had a wholesome moment with all the other monsters and all that, where the dads were just
Hold on, you're misspeaking. They have a sincere moment with the fathers, and then as the fathers leave, they're yeah, but we're dads though, so if you screw this up,
we will kill you 5 different ways. Well, 4 different ways, and then Phantom will do something because he's the least intimidating out of us.
But yeah, I'd argue, yeah, it's campy, goofy, and it's kind of fun. Revolta honestly seems like she is, a weird invasion in the plot.
Yeah, it's I described it within the movie, just sort of her popping in every so often to be I'm part of the movie, actually, until you get to the actual Revolta part of the movie. Because there's no intertwining of the actual plot lines or anything like that. It's basically just sort of compartmentalized into 2 sections. Volleyball section, then Revolta section. All the characters are present in both sections and such, but while in the first section you basically do get a lot more clever interaction, clever back and forth, corny and such, but also enough to create actual dynamic and everything. And the second one, it's basically just very dragging, where it's just trying to make way to basically get to that end point mark.
And the Revolta section's weak. Her plan is so beyond dumb. So she has her spider bats, which are spiders and bats. And her plan is to take over the daughters and then just make them bad. Which I thought it would have been oh, you'll take the daughters and then you'll control the fathers and you'll use them to bring about evil onto the world with, your monsters.
No, but as she directly explains, she's gonna use them as a monster SWAT team.
literal words, right?
Just think, Creeper, I'll have an evil SWAT team to do my bidding.
Yeah, that little mummy right there. I guess she's gonna be the heavy hitter of that SWAT team, isn't she?
You give her a shard of glass with some mummy bandage wrapped around the hilt, and she'll just slit your Achilles tendon, and then it'll just fold up like a window shade. No, even the premise where it's like you can put the webs on their heads and control them. Okay, and then after that it's like your spell wears off. Well, if you have the web hypnosis thing, shouldn't that do it? And it's like, no, I need to turn them evil.
You revoltize them, you mean?
At the stroke of midnight, I'm going to revoltize them.
Revoltize them? Ooh, how revolting.
So she puts the helmets on their heads and pours a bunch of purple juice. No, it's green juice. The green is bad, purple is good. The green juice makes them all evil, by which they make these hilarious expressions on their faces. I noticed that they skipped Tanis because trying to make the adorable teeny tiny mummy girl looking, I don't know, malevolent probably would have looked hysterical. I'd like to point out, to stop them from becoming evil, all you kind of have to do is, like, shove the girls out from under the device, and it works. Like, I really feel it's weird, because then the movie goes for convoluted. Some of the girls get free, like, a majority of the girls get free. The Revolta turns Scooby into a frog, and she's like, I got him as a frog. Ha 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 ha. Revolta has the full deck now. And then the spider bat, because it's an idiot, chases the frog, and the frog knocks a bunch of stuff into the pot, and somehow it is the expertly, perfectly exact antidote to turn the wicked potion into the good potion. So then all of a sudden, Phasma's just like, I'm good now.
That string of coincidences basically can make up a pretty alright second half and everything, but that doesn't really account for everything that happens into it, because you had to throw in the random mirror monster and such, the weird purple monster that shows up, the Callaway kids coming in on their flying helicopter. A lot of elements that are just thrown in there willy-nilly. That doesn't really mesh together. It's basically just there to just pad out the time to just get to the end point.
It's like Boo Brothers. It's so dense. There's so many things happening. And you and I said, like, first half, can't be goofy. That's fine. It's Scooby-Doo. That's what Scooby-Doo is.
Yeah, because it has a focus. It needed to just be on the Ghoul School, and that's it. Because the Ghoul School was the interesting thing. The girls were the interesting thing. They are all archetypes and such, but when you basically have the second half, the girls are basically taken away, and it's just left with Scooby, Shaggy, Scrappy, and Matches, which is the little dragon, whose fun quirk is he's an asshole.
It completely falls apart. I don't know, what should be like a wrapping thought for this?
It just doesn't make for a really engaging second half of the story.
Yeah.
And it becomes just sort of like a decision between the two sort of evils of Ghoul School and Boo Brothers. Do you want more consistently just like muddled together like Boo Brothers is, which for us makes an entirely boring experience from beginning to end? Or do you want all the muddleness in the second half of the story, where the first half gives you a fun, corny time, and the second half,
I'd much rather have Ghoul School over Boo Brothers. I genuinely dislike so much about Boo Brothers.
The riot, okay? And the riot's over!
It's really hard, because unlike Boo Brothers, which gives you such a stronger feeling, Ghoul School doesn't.
Ghoul School's kind of fine. I do wish they'd maybe take another swing with these characters. I don't know if they could, because the Hasbro situation, lawsuits.
Yeah, like their inclusion, OKKO, was a cute little side thing in that show. So the characters could definitely work again. Like they could pull off a whole Hex Girl situation as they appeared multiple times and everything. But these characters don't get any love from WB.
Look, nobody hates Scooby-Doo more than the people who hold the IP for Scooby-Doo.